Some viewers may find this humor offensive. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, it's me, Romano, the superlative pig. Welcome back to my show, The Jersey Ham. This week, all the way from LA, is action star himself, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger. Jesus, Vinny, can't you spell that right on the damn cue card? Okay then, Mr. Vidi had him flown in all special just to be here for this little chat. So Arnie, thanks so much for coming out. You know, Mr. Vidi said you like to sing, and maybe we should get you to do a special night over at the Bada Boom for Ladies Night. We managed to get some shots of you singing on the plane. Vinny, roll that clip.
Take out the papers and the trash, or you don't get no spending cash. If you don't scrap that kitchen floor, you ain't gonna rock and roll no more. Yakety yak. Don't talk back. Da 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 da.
I knew you were trouble the second I laid eyes on you.
Excuse me. I just have never heard this kind of music before.
Yeah, maybe that's not such a good idea. Vinny, mark down that we should tell Mr. V to get his ears checked later. In fact, you know what? You tell him. So Arnie, can I call you Arnie? Or how about Governator? You know, why don't we start by talking a little bit about your movie career? In fact, why don't you tell us a little bit about when you did Pumping Iron?
Well, interestingly enough, Pumping Iron was a documentary about explaining bodybuilding. It was not about me, because you never know who is going to win.
Yeah, you know, that reminds me of this time Vinny and I were playing cards, and we never knew who was going to win either, although it was always Teddy. Mr. Vidi used to get so pissed. Now Teddy isn't allowed to come anymore. Vinny, roll that clip and show him.
Hey, Spider, on your way over here, bring me a cutting water, huh? What am I, a mirage?
What?
What? Where's my fucking drink? I asked you for a drink.
No, I thought you said that you were all right, Spider.
Well, give me a fucking drink. Move it, you little prick. You walk like fucking stepping. Yeah, fucking barn. Dance, Yahoo, you motherfucker. Come on, you.
Nice fucking game. Nice fucking.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Now, see, that's why he don't come no more. So, Arnie, I hear you have a bit of a drinking problem. Is that true?
And, I drink beer. That is because of my Munich days. So when I moved from Austria to Munich to train between the age of 19 and 21, other gyms always would have milk bottles all over the windows that were empty or half full or full that bodybuilders would be drinking. In our gym, we had downstairs a restaurant, and we always got huge steins of beer. So we had just beer all around the windows and around the gymnasium. And I refused to drink milk because I hated milk. And so beer was really for me to drink, to have while I was working out.
Oh, so you only had that problem in your younger days. I suppose you probably couldn't have that issue as Governator. Speaking of Pumping Iron, you must know these guys, eh? Vinny, roll that clip.
Hans and Franz?
Surprise!
Well, here's another surprise for you. Muscle. Hear me now and believe me later. We want to repay the favor and pump you up.
Sorry, what?
Pull us, you flabby loser!
You'll thank us later!
Roll your boat! Gently down the loser stream. Doesn't this hurt?
Not with those puny arms.
Congratulations, Adam.
You earned the suit. It's a start.
Yeah, not bad.
Really?
That must have really led to some success. After all, you win some big-ass movies in your career.
And so here all of a sudden is Conan the Barbarian, where my accent was welcomed because I talked different than everyone else, and it looked like from some prehistoric time, and the body looked like an action hero, something that like Frank Frazetta, when he drew the Conan characters in the comic books, he always drew him with the huge muscles and very defined and ripped. So I proved to the world again, never listen to the naysayers and always just plow ahead and do exactly what is your vision. My vision was to become a big star and to become not only a big star, but to become the highest paid entertainer in that field, which I eventually then became when I did Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin? Are you freaking serious? You know that movie's considered one of the worst movies ever, right? I mean, it had this scene in it. Vinny, roll a Batcave. I mean, they actually paid you for that movie? More than any other actor? What did you think of it?
Well, interestingly enough, my motivation there was originally to work with Joel Schumacher. And then the other thing was that George Clooney was a up-and-coming star, international star. He was brilliant to work with. He was very, very nice and a sweetheart of a guy to work with. So we had a great time. The only thing was that on being Mr. Freeze, I had to sit for 5 hours in makeup and getting all these outfits on and everything like this every single day. So it took a lot of discipline and a lot of hard work. And I said yes. When I read the script, I thought it was a very entertaining and great script. And I said yes.
Okay then, seems we don't quite see eye to eye on what a good script is. Let's move on to some of your other bombs. You know, like Collateral Damage, Last Action Hero, and of course, you just did Terminator Dark Fate last year, and boy, that went down faster than the Titanic. What happened there? Did you take that Mr. Freeze role to an extreme? You know, James Cameron may have to dive down to get the wreckage of your career after that one. Why'd you do that one anyway?
I can do those Terminator movies from here to eternity. The trick of it is, and I think it's very smartly done, the body underneath and the skeleton, the metal skeleton, all that stuff stays the same. So the abilities, his abilities have stayed the same. But the outside, the flesh, ages just like any other human flesh does. So that makes me get away with looking older and, you know, that you can do a movie like that 30 years later.
Seriously? You mean you bought that? You know I'm a big fan of Star Wars, and that Data guy on the Enterprise in it there, he didn't get all old and wrinkled, and he was metal in the flesh. I mean, this last Terminator movie, you look like you aged like milk.
That's the great thing about the writing. And I love doing the Terminator movies, especially when there is continuous growth.
Growth? Jesus, Arnie. The only growth I saw was like fungus. Let me guess, that's why you went into politics, huh?
As a villain, you have the advantage that you can go all out and do things that you normally cannot do as a hero, because it would not be a certain thing. It can be a certain cruelty or the way you kill people.
Yeah, well, I know why you were called Governator. Okay, you weren't always like this. You tried getting into comedy, and you did Junior, Twins, Kindergarten Cop, and Jingle All the Way, just to name a few. In fact, we have a few of the best scenes. Vinny, roll a clip, will you?
Now we're going to do something extremely fun. We're going to play a wonderful game called Who is My Daddy and What Does He Do? Yes?
Is your daddy a fireman? He's probably big. Is he a wrestler? Is he a basketball coach?
No.
What's the matter?
I have a headache.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all. What I meant was, you tell me, who is your daddy and what does he do?
I mean, them kids must have driven you crazy. Then you worked with another kid in this one. Vinny, roll that next clip.
On your way out, just tell her I will be a few minutes late, but you shouldn't worry.
Oh, she won't worry. I mean, I'm here and... Oh, these cookies! I gotta get the recipe from Les.
Put that cookie down! Now!
But then you did this. Vinny, roll that last clip, will you?
I love it when you hit people, George. Oh! That's great.
Actually, I hate violence.
But you're so good at it. Listen, I got an idea. We should go into business together.
Well, why don't you tell us about that True Lies movie you did? It was like you decided to do action and comedy all in one. You did that with James Cameron and Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, seems like you and Jimmy Cams were on a roll, and then you did that Titanic sinking movie, Dark Fate. How did you end up doing True Lies?
I showed him a French movie La Totale, which was $1 million movie. It was made for $1 million in France. But the concept that was there was so brilliant. Jim saw it and he says, let's do it.
You know, I don't know how you got anything done after that striptease scene with Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, yeah, she could stand to put on a few pounds and pork up a bit, but even I got to admit, she made me roll up big in a blanket. Vinny, roll that clip.
Now slip the dress down slowly. Good. Now, dance for me.
I don't know about you there, Arnie, but I could use a smoke after seeing something like that. You know, after that, I think maybe we should move on. How about we do this again some other time? I mean, there's so much more to talk about in your career we haven't even touched on. What do you think?
I will be back.
Alrighty then. Vinny's gonna let you out of the chair, and we'll be back next week with another celebrity interview. Ciao. So don't forget, if you like what we're doing, like, subscribe, and leave a comment, but nothing too incriminating, because Vinny may have to come over and paint the walls.